Alastair, how disappointing was that, particularly from the jump straight away?
We're hoping like Elmacker, the scratchy Brisbane were going to turn up. They were terrific early, and it probably showed the gap between a really, really experienced and accomplished midfield that's played a lot of footy together versus ours. And the pressure that we were able to apply on Brisbane early in the game in terms of our tackle count and all that sort of stuff was terrific. And a pressure count of over 2 is something that we've been searching for, and every side searches for. Unfortunately, they applied the same sort of a pressure to us, and their capacity to absorb that pressure and still get the ball out in the first quarter was just far superior to ours. And that's, we fought valiantly in the second half. The game could have quite easily just slipped right away, and we hung in there and one contested possession in the second half, but the horse had bolted. The strength of the Brisbane side in the contest in the first quarter in particular meant that balls that we thought were out and ready to go forward, they turned the ball over and then got an easy passage to goal, which they played a terrific first half, and we were playing catch up from there.
What sort of message do you give the group at half time? You've obviously got to keep them up as much as you can, but you've probably got to give them a little hit as well. It's a balance.
Oh no, it's just a learning capability. It probably couldn't be a tougher draw in the competition than what we've copped. We've got 3 of the top 4 sides in the comp, and Fremantle, who also accomplished side and played finals the year before. So, and it doesn't get any easier next week. We've got the Cats in Geelong. So, we know where we're at as a footy club, and when we're playing against these really, really good sides, like we saw in the third quarter, we were able to compete really strongly, and even in the last quarter we weren't too bad, but to be able to do it for 4 sustainable quarters is really tough for us right at the present time. But we played Carlton last week, and 5 or 6 years ago, and even this time last year, everyone was saying, "Oh, Carlton," but they are a very, very good, experienced, accomplished side, and they were too strong for us last week. And then we come and get up against Brisbane, who probably 7 years ago when Fags first got there, are in exactly the same position as us. So we just know we've got to put in the time and the hard yards and not lose faith, and that's what was pleasing in the second half. We reset ourselves and just made it much more of a contest in the second half. And we had some good things to come out of the game. With Comben playing his first game back for 12 months, and we've decided to play him back despite CJ going down with that Achilles. It would have been so easy just to push him forward and have him play that role, but we've trained him as a back all summer, and he looked really, really accomplished in the back end of the ground. And so there's Tom Powell got an opportunity to Lockie Neal just had a terrific first quarter and a half, and we put Powley to him in the third quarter just to try and quiet his influence, and Powell had never sort of done that role before, and he was having a quiet first half himself. So just little things that little wins that we have along the way that will just help us in the long run. It doesn't help us win a game of footy right now, unfortunately, but we've got to keep trying to find the little silver lining to the occasional dark clouds that we're going to endure across this path, and try to get better as we go along.
How pleasing is it that at no stage did they even look like dropping their heads? Like they're cracking in the whole way through, and they're having your backs, for example, they're having a tough day out with Hipwood and down to the, fueling themselves a little bit.
We just part of the focus going into the game was to try and win clearances and contested ball, and we got smashed in contested ball in particular early, which means that your defenders are going to be under enormous heat. In that inside 50 territory game, which Brisbane play so well, and even last week, they were playing the reigning premier, and they had 20 inside 50s to 2 in the second quarter. So sort of it was a little bit of an indication to me that Brisbane aren't playing too bad, really. And we copped them at their very best, but then we're a fair way from behind the Pies and Brisbane in terms of just being able to do that sustainable, great footy, particularly absorbing the pressure in close, and just because midfield's got an average age of about 20 or 21. We had McKercher in there a little bit more in today's game, and when you got McKercher as a first year, Georgie Woodlaw has played about 11 or 12 games, and Tom Power has played about 40. Just this exposure that they get to the level is just first class for them. But it just means that the ups and downs of the game are just difficult to take sometimes. But we just know where we're at as a footy club, and we just got to do the hard yards.
Is that sorry, you request someone other than Brisbane next year for gather round?
Yeah, listen, they're a good side, and as I said, tracked their journey really closely because of Fags and the job he's done there, and that's a similar sort of pathway that he. I don't mean to discredit him in any way when I say he just copied the pathway of his experience at Hawthorn of what we needed to do, and bring in young players and just have them grow together. And Fags has replicated that at Brisbane and has given them a chance. They haven't saluted yet, but they're giving themselves every chance by being up there. And we've just got to follow the same sort of model. And hopefully, I think by Fags' third or fourth year, they made significant improvement. And as the McCluggages and the Baileys and these sorts of guys got to 40, 50, 60 games, and that's where we've got to get to with the Sheasels and the Dersmers and all these younger lads that are hopefully going to be a really important part of our future.
Is the midfield mix, interesting for you in a sense? You want to play the kids. You've also got other senior guys that could go through there as well. You really need to get the time to the kids as well. Is that a bit of a challenge?
Well, it's just a
forward as much as you're looking at the now.
Yeah, well, it's a balancing act. We got the youngest list in the competition, and then we have the unfortunate situation of what happened with Taron. Who's a prime mover for us, and he's played 60, 70 games of footy. He's one of those guys that could help carry us forward, and so that's a little bit of a setback for us. And then we just got to replace him with another kid, more or less. We didn't anticipate that he was not going to be able to play this year. So it'll give us some exposure. It might hurt us for a short period of time, but it'll give us some exposure to some other lads, and they get some experience in there. And it's tough. There's one party that says it's a step backwards for you by exposing those kids too much to that part of the ground, and then it's a step backwards if you don't give them the experience either. So we've got to just try and find the balance as best we can. And but by and large, we competed pretty well for the second half against Brisbane. It's just unfortunate that the game was nearly done and dusted by quarter time. Such was their dominance in the first part of the game.
You talk about the first month being quite a tough month. You also got Geelong next week. Then you've got a couple of, I wouldn't say easy games, but you've got Hawthorn, Adelaide, St Kilda. You've got to have that sort of confidence coming in the way you have played a quarter a week and 3 quarters a week to build up for those games. Yeah,
well, our draw better than me. I only looked just as far as Geelong. Listen, no game's easy in this competition. But what we do know is that those teams that we've played are on top of the ladder or thereabouts for a reason, and they've been able to do that consistently for the last little while. As I said, they've got experienced lists, and but we'll just tackle the Cats next week, and they're a really accomplished unit as well, and then we'll just see where we go from there. But we'll lick our wounds a little bit from today. Disappointed when you. It wasn't so much we had a big build-up, but it was just like we thought we were going to fare better. I thought, if anything, knew that Brisbane would come out pretty fired up. They've been under heat as a footy club, and they're a proud club, and they're a reputable club too. So they would have been smarting a little bit with their on-field position, but also the off-field scrutiny that they're under. And I don't expect anything less of them to come out and play like they did, but we're just hopeful that we're going to be in the contest a little bit more than what we were in the. And it wasn't because we weren't trying, but we just couldn't absorb the pressure as well as what the Brisbane side. We both tackled just as hard as each other in the first quarter. They were able to break theirs easier than what we were able to break theirs.
Thanks very much.
Good sum up, Rog, you reckon? That'll do us. Good on you guys. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.